Hit.
Ready? Okay. This is Karen Kramer. This is Health Statistics and Research Support. This is domain number 2, preparation PowerPoint for the RHIA examination. Our first topic in Health Statistics and Research will be the area of data mining. And I'm just going to, the book that I will be reading from and going over some concepts and topics is the Health Information Management Concepts, Principles, and Practice. It's the first edition, 2002. And according to this book, chapter 20, it says about data mining that successful healthcare organizations empower their management and staff with data warehousing, space, critical thinking, and knowledge management tools for strategic decision making. And one of the areas is data mining, which is also known as database exploration and information discovery. It brings the practice of information processing closer to providing the answers that organizations want from their data. And the data mining process can be divided into two categories. Category number 1 is discovering patterns and associations, and category number 2 is using the patterns to predict future trends and behaviors. And it has here that data mining technology and techniques are invaluable to healthcare management in analyzing clinical and financial data for strategic decision making. Such techniques can help organizations to meet business objectives for cost control and revenue generation while maintaining high quality care for the patient. And the following types of data are used in data mining. And I believe I have them, yes. There are the decision trees, that's on page 2 of the PowerPoint. Decision trees, genetic algorithms, neural networks, predictive modeling, rule induction, fuzzy logic, and k-nearest neighbor. I guess maybe we should probably go over a decision tree. The decision tree is a technique in data mining, and it is a tree-shaped structure that visually describes a set of rules that cause a decision to be made. Decision trees also are techniques that learn and discover patterns from data that have been presented to them. The next is genetic algorithms. They are optimization techniques that can be used to improve other data mining algorithms so that they derive the best model for a given set of data. For example, algorithms can help determine the optimal treatment plan for a particular diagnosis. The next data mining technique is called neural networks. Neural networks are nonlinear predictive models that learn how to detect a pattern to match a particular profile through a training process that involves interactive learning, using a set of data that describes what the organization wants to find. The next data mining technique would be predictive modeling. Predictive modeling can be used to identify patterns. The patterns then can be used to predict the odds of a particular outcome based on the observed data.
I'm sorry,
Next
Karen.
data mining technique.
On the first two, repeat the first two again. You
Okay,
said
the
logarithms.
the neural networks. Neural networks. That is on the PowerPoint slide here. That is it's the page 2, and it has under data mining. And basically, what talks about again what data mining does. It's divided into the two categories, and the techniques in data mining are decision trees and the
Oh.
neural networks. Neural networks are nonlinear predictive models that learn how to detect a pattern to match a particular profile through a training process that involves interactive learning, using a set of data that describes what the organization wants to find. And it has a couple of examples as they can help determine what disease a susceptible patient is likely to contract. Neural networks are good for clustering, sequencing, and predicting patterns. Their drawback is they do not explain why they have reached a particular conclusion.
Awesome.
The next is predictive modeling. Predictive modeling can be used to identify patterns. The patterns then can be used to predict the odds of a particular outcome based on the observed data. The next data mining technique is the rule induction. And rule induction is also referred to as association rule analysis. It's the process of extracting useful if then rules from data based on statistical significance. And the next one is the fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic handles imprecise concepts. It is more flexible than any other techniques. For example, it can help identify patients who are likely to respond to hospital community initiatives to raise an awareness for example, it can help identify patients who are likely to respond to hospital community initiatives to raise awareness of the cause of AIDS prevention. And the last data mining technique is called K-nearest neighbor. It's a classic technique for discovering association and sequences when the data attributes are numeric.
Awesome.
Okay. Um, there is an area here that says that data mining can exist in the following basic forms. Um, One of them has above the warehouse. This form of data mining provides a minimal architecture for analysis and pattern identification and is prescribed only when the data mining is not a key objective for the warehouse. And the other one is beside the warehouse. This form of data mining allows data mining to be done in specific data segments for specific business objectives, and the exploratory nature of the data mining exercise does not interfere with the warehouse routine processes of query and reporting. And the last one is within the warehouse. And this is a form of data mining that works like a republic within a republic. It is independent of the warehouse structures, and it usually leads to a loss of flexibility, most often due to the centralization within the warehouse. This form limits significant benefits because problems with mining within the mining warehouse, once begun, multiply quite rapidly. Now, those are the areas of data mining, and I know I remember those obviously um, being on the test.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Now,
pause this just for a minute. Let me go
okay,
downstairs.
okay.
Hold on just a minute. Let me see if I can pause it. I don't know if it'll let me.